So the choice is with, say, a music artist is you go it alone,
Mm-hmm.
or you try and sign to a label.
Yeah.
You go it alone. I mean, you've suddenly got to learn to be a whole load of things.
Yeah.
This is really like,
I respect people who can do all of that stuff. Like I watched a video earlier where someone was talking about Chance the Rapper and about how he stayed independent his whole time. And I was like, well, that's great for him. Yeah. But it's like, what if you're actually a really talented songwriter or rapper or whatever, but you're not that good at marketing or like schmoozing or, you know, so now does that person deserve to be trampled all over? It's like...
Yeah. And also maybe you go with the record label because then they have people to do all those things that you're not good at. You're amazing at the xylophone, but you're rubbish at social media, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But then the problem with a lot of the bigger labels is they're still looking at things so their deals tend to be the same as they were historically. Now, historically, they had to take into account they had to make your music available to people. So they had to manufacture a record or a CD or a cassette or whatever.
Yeah.
And so those deals still do that, but actually they're not having to do that anymore because they don't make CDs for every artist.
Yeah, I've heard this actually, where like you say, like, not to paraphrase you, but basically like 20, 30 years ago when they had to factor in the cost of pressing a CD or pressing a vinyl or, you know, contracting that out to a vinyl pressing plant, they would hive off a certain amount of money. And the bands, you know, back in the day, the Rolling Stones or whoever would sign this contract and go like, yeah, okay, well, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not going to go and do it. I don't know any vinyl pressing plants. So, yeah.
And now it's just like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, we'd probably just leave that in there. I'm like, sometimes I wonder who the fuck are the lawyers that are representing these art, or do the artists just not have solicitors? Or is it like...
Well, again, I mean, the thing is, you probably, when you renegotiate your contract, if you've done well, then you probably do have a good music solicitor. But at the beginning, maybe you have your mate's sister who's a paralegal, you know, and she's read it, and it's not going to totally screw you over, but she's not actually a music lawyer.
Yeah.
She's just somebody, you know, because otherwise, again, you've got to pay a music lawyer. And to be fair, these people have gone to university, spent a lot of money getting their degrees and becoming a music lawyer, so they cost money to hire.
Yeah, and I suppose that's not something that the record label Advance would necessarily cover. Like, it's not in the label's interest to give you good representation to fight. No. Yeah, it's funny. And then there's the flip side of that situation as well. So, you know, historic vinyl pressing costs that the label would want to recoup from you is wound up in the contract. But then now there is the equivalent of that, which is, well, not equivalent of, but where artists will make millions and millions of dollars out of their merchandise and their Instagram and like product placement and that sort of stuff. And now the labels are like, well, hang on a second, nobody's buying CDs anymore, guys. And, you know, we're marketing you. We're spending $300,000 marketing you so you can be a hit. So we think it's only fair that because we put you on that platform,
we get a little bit of that too.
Yeah.
Little slice of that as well.
Yeah, and so they call it a 360 deal. So it covers everything. It's like, it's, you know, we don't just make the music. We promote you. We will take a cut of your merchandise. We'll take like all of your social media earnings. And it's crazy. It's like, it makes me think, are like, at what point do we stop looking at record labels as record labels? And do we actually look at them like, oh, you're a marketing agency. That's what you are. Yeah. Like, you have the contacts, you put me on the Tonight Show or, you know, Top of the Pops or whatever, and then
Top of the Pops.
I'll show how much
they've got a time machine as well.
Yeah, this is a technology show and my finger is on the pulse, Emily.
Right on that part.